The poll from the Watertown Times showing Aubertine ahead, that is stunning news in local political circles. It also explains a lot, because all we've heard are little tidbits of poll information from the political operatives, but all of it seems to have borne out the fact that this is a close race. And that also explains why the negative campaigning continues. And now the only mailing I got today was just a fairly bland piece from Aubertine, just get out and vote piece, so it's no big deal there. But the Barclay camp put out a press release, notorious drug legalization kingpin and convicted inside trader funnels cash to Aubertine. The family of George Soros, the controversial hedge fund billionaire and convicted inside trader whose fortune has helped fuel radical left-wing causes such as drug legalization. This was not written in Watertown, folks. It's just incredible. Has made a big political contribution to assist Darrel Aubertine. Apparently it was money contributed to the state Democratic Party. Everybody knows George Soros. That name's been out there before. So the stuff, Soros is well known for helping to bankroll MoveOn.org. That group is responsible for the controversial ad which recently depicted U.S. General David Petraeus as a traitor. And I know, listen, I have friends or people I know that have been in these organizations and help with these campaigns. This is just nonsense and just borders on hysterical. Really, let me tell you what this race comes down to. And it comes down to something very simple. This was a race, this is one of the most bulletproof Senate districts for the Republicans in the state of New York. A huge enrollment advantage. They came into this controlling the timetable because Senator Wright knew he was going to step down. They planned the succession. They obviously had a lot of lead time. So the starting point for, in this case, Mr. Barclay, would have been a good 15 points ahead of whatever Democrat ran. And obviously Darrel Aubertine was probably the only credible Democrat that could have run that they would have supported because he's a sitting assemblyman. So they came into it way ahead. But normally in that situation, if you had run a more traditional 3 yards in a cloud of dust, just get yourself known, be positive, and all of that would have worked. They made the tactical decision, as I said yesterday, go negative early. And I know this because I was told this by various operatives early on. We're going to destroy Aubertine. We got the goods on him. We're going to make it, one Republican elected official said, it'll be so bad he won't even be able to get reelected to his assembly seat. Barclay in this race. And this is my analysis. Probably get in trouble for saying this with some. But this is a guy who was not known north of Mansfield because there's an imaginary news line that exists between Oswego and Jefferson County. So folks up here generally didn't know him. There was the Republican old guard, the insiders who said, that's Doug's boy. Yeah, we know him. But most people didn't, from what I hear. So the first impression people get up here is a very biting and negative campaign. Very little about the candidate himself. And images were formed. And that Watertown Daily Times points it out that although maybe Aubertine's negatives have been driven up a little, they've managed to drive their own candidates' negatives up even further. And that's why the poll is as close as it is. So the campaign that was so brilliantly conceived down in Albany among the people who are at war and we're going to destroy you and we're going to do this and we're going to do that and you better be on our side, you're for us or against us, that campaign didn't play. And now what it's come down to, and although the hysterical rants continue in the press releases that are really, it's silly at this point. And the Democrats have had their share of silliness too, don't get me wrong. But when you're the majority party way ahead, you don't have to do that. So now what it comes down to is this. The way that Barclay wins is by reassuring people in the northern counties, Jefferson and St. Lawrence. And no better person to do that than John McHugh. John McHugh was born here on Hamilton Street. Well, probably born in the hospital, lived on Hamilton Street. Well-respected local family. Served as aide to the city manager Forbes, an aide to Senator Barclay, and Senator Barclay chose him to be the senator in 1984, and then he moved to Congress in 1992. And so Congressman McHugh, who has the gravitas, respect, and admiration of a lot of people, came out yesterday and endorsed, and is doing so in radio ads, Will Barclay, in hopes that he can pull Barclay across the finish line, that he can reassure people in Jefferson and St. Lawrence County that despite the BS of the campaign and some of the nonsense they've heard, and the apprehensions they may have that this guy's okay, I knew him, I was there when he was born, I grew up with him, his family's good people, and I'm asking you to believe me on this one and vote for him. So John McHugh, who I like very much, has been suited up like the old quarterback, George Blanda, Y.A. Tittle, whoever you want to draw the analogy to, and sent out on the field for the last series of downs to see if he can get the ball across the goal line. And that's the best hope right now. Not a press release linking him to George Soros. None of that stuff. That's just more of same. The insiders don't get it. But I was just over at a local business ordering some merchandise, and the person there, he's sort of a basic 30-something young mother, active in politics. If I hear one more of that guy's commercials, I'll scream or something. People are sick of it, and they keep dishing out more of it. And the really only hope is that the old quarterback, John McHugh, can get out on the field. And I was thinking of Earl Morrall. They brought him out well, that didn't work well for the Colts, did it? That's maybe not a good analogy. I don't think John would like that one. But anyway, there must be somebody out there who actually won a game doing that. But that's what they're trying to do, and that's really their only hope, is to do that. Now, there'll be endorsements this week. I expect all the daily newspapers will be endorsing Barclay this week. But the campaign has just been, no matter what you think of both of them, or both their campaigns, the fact is, I think what would have been an easy 15, 16-point win has been turned into a horse race. And I don't know. Maybe they thought it would just work. It didn't. And I think these poll results in the Times kind of confirm that. And so, as one who's seen North Country politics and seen the aversion that sometimes develops towards nastiness, I would say that's their best shot at winning, is that personal testimonial. Whether it works or not, I don't know. But, another poison pen press release, it'll get on News Junkie, but I don't think it turns that around. That's my opinion. 755-1240, the phone number, and we'll be back in just a moment.